So on Tuesday, May 26th, I crashed my drone into a creek. So before we start talking about the repair process and how the drone is doing right now, let's go back in time a little bit. And here is me at the place where I crashed my drone talking about what happened.
So I was actually doing a shot, like the drone was flying through this creek in here. It's actually pretty open. There's no trees kind of obstructing this area here. But then I also went backwards and went this way. And then I actually flew the drone through this narrow gap here, and I was heading upstream. I was heading that way, trying to get like a nice low shot like this, kind of just skimming the water, heading out that way. So the drone fell in, it hit those dangly branches right about there and fell in right below it, so about here. So as soon as it did, I put my camera down, or the controller down over here, jumped over these rocks, climbed around this shoreline hanging onto that tree, and then reached in and grabbed it from over there. So that's where it fell in. This was a terrible idea. I thought I was a better drone pilot, but those branches are too thin to see really from, back there where I was standing. So the drone kind of got tangled and fell right in.
So obviously that footage was taken days after. I just happened to be back in the area and I decided to kind of show you what happened. Obviously I was not filming at the time of the crash. I was too busy, removing the battery, getting the drone out of the water, etc. Then I did a quick Google search on my phone just to see what should I do. So I phoned the people that were here at home and got them to prepare some distilled water and a dry bowl of rice. And I zoomed back less than a 5-minute bike ride, so I was here very quickly. And I also had one of those little eyedropper thingies because it crashed in a creek. Who knows what kind of gunk is in there? So I flushed out some of the things or parts of the drone with distilled water, just so I could get out some sediment and whatever. And then I put it in a dry bowl of rice. So it stayed in the rice for actually 4 days until Friday or Saturday, like May 30th. I took it out of the bowl to test it, charge it, see if it was working. So the drone was dead. So I took the battery and plugged it into the drone and the wall. And the light came on. I was like, all right. But then the light would also turn off sometimes and it was never creeping up. Like the battery wasn't charging. So I was like, that's really not good. So anyway, I tried powering it on and that didn't work either. So it was clear to me that there was something more wrong here, and obviously something was broken. So I went online and checked out a couple of places that did drone repairs and diagnostics, and I found 2 here in Canada that were really well reviewed, came up on the first page of Google search results. Dr. Drone, which is based in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. So there's no way I'm spending $25 to ship my drone out there for a diagnostic, not happening. Luckily, OmniView Tech, an official licensed DJI retailer, is located right here in the GTA in Mississauga, right on the border between Mississauga and Toronto, which isn't too far from where I live. So I hooked it down there and dropped off my drone on May 30th, that same day, for a diagnostic. And because they offered free diagnostics, I said, what the hey? Maybe they can tell us what's wrong. Maybe I can fix it. We'll see. They were closed on the Sunday, and then it took a few days. So June 3rd, I got an email with my ticket number. And whenever you open a ticket number with them, you get your own online profile so you can view invoices, estimates, and repair bills and pay them as well. So that was super convenient. I could see where the status of my repair was. So on their estimate they said they needed to replace all 4 of the drone motors right here. So I said, okay. And I looked at the pricing and they were charging the exact amount for the motors as you can get them retail, $22.50 or something like that, somewhere around there per motor. But then they were also charging $80 for parts and labor, not parts. Parts was the motors. And so the total was coming out to about $190. I'm like, okay, I wonder if I can do the repair myself. So I looked online, checked out some iFixit guides, videos on YouTube. Unfortunately, as you can see by one of these dead motors, if I can just get the camera to focus on it, there's these tiny little leads, a white, a red, and a black. And those actually need to be soldered to a circuit board that is located under these LED covers. So I don't have any soldering equipment, for one, and I haven't soldered anything in years, and these leads are very small and precise. So I did not have the equipment, or did I feel comfortable doing the repair. So I said, all right, I guess I'm going to have to pay them to do it. So I approved the repair, and took them a while. I actually got an email one day. It was on a Monday, June 8th. I was over, I was just hanging out, got an email about 2 o'clock. They said, hey, it's actually going to be a little while. Our shipments of parts from DJI, it's taken a little while. I was thinking, all right. But less than 2 hours later, I got an email that said, hey, the order came like literally right after we sent that last email. The repair is done. And I said, okay. Which, also gave me a little bit of pause, because I'm like, yeah, it took them probably an hour and a half to do the repair, and they charged me $80. But considering the specialized tools, soldering iron, and you also need a bunch of specialty Torx screws that I just didn't have, or screwdrivers, rather. I didn't have any of those bits lying around. So, I said, all right. The final total was a little bit more than initially I thought, because they actually replaced my missing LED cover. I bought this thing used off of Kijiji, a classified ad site. And it was always missing one of these covers. I don't know, the previous owner lost it or crashed it or something. So they charged me $8 for a replacement, which kind of sucked, but whatever. So the final total was $200. And I got, probably about 6 or 8 emails throughout the process. I was constantly updated. I was in the shop. They are actually open. They reopened recently during COVID, and they've got all the proper precautions in place, and the guys there really know what they're doing. Now, this video is in no way affiliated with them at all. I'm just, positively reviewing it because of the experiences I had there. Now, the last part of this video, fair warning, I was going to head out to a park close by, because I actually live in a no-fly zone, so I have to head a little bit south of here to fly the drone. I was going to head out there, but I just realized after I pulled the stuff out of the drone case that the battery is dead. Now, they never told me that explicitly, so I just found out this morning, and I picked up the drone yesterday, so that really sucks. So to get a new one of these shipped here is probably like $70, $75. So $275, that was completely avoidable to repair a drone that I only paid $350 for. Kind of sucks. But I'm glad I was able to repair it. I love this drone. I've already got it registered, right? I've got the license for it. And also, I hate e-waste, and I'm glad we were able to repair the drone, because the only thing going to waste now are these motors and the batteries. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It just was pretty expensive. So anyway, I will be back in a different time at some point once I get a new battery, and I will head out there and do a drone flight test right now. Okay, so I have arrived at my testing site, which is this very empty field. I'm gonna start off at least pretty low with the drone, because I don't want to take it up to 50, 75, 100 meters and then realize that the controls aren't working properly, or there's something wrong with one of the new motors. So anyway, I should be able to get everything up and running. I do have a bunch of paperwork to do, and of course I have to attach all the propeller guards and stuff. And of course it is windy, because whenever I try to fly a drone, it's way too windy. The gusts are only like 25 clicks today, so that's not too bad. I've definitely flown in worse, but yeah, I'll just get everything set up and bring you back for the maiden voyage with the new motors. Okay, this is good. So I've connected the controller to the drone. My phone connected to the Wi-Fi network of the controller, so that's good. I did actually power on the drone before I came all the way out here, obviously, because I wanted to see if the new battery was working. Speaking of which, new battery, $72 with taxes. Ugh, what a pain. But anyway, we're there now. And I am getting a video feed here. I just want to press the record button and see what happens. I'm going to be testing out all aspects of the drone. Landing, taking off, obviously, recording. I might take some stills. And then obviously I want to check out sport mode, all the controls, everything like that. So let's see. Okay, so it says it's recording. I actually don't know if that's going to work. So actually, I'm just going to put something right here on screen telling you if the recording's worked. And then I might put some random footage at the end of this video if you're interested. All right, so let's take off. It's ready. It flies again. Yes, 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 yes. This is good news. So I'm just gonna let it hover for a bit here and then test out all of the axis controls here. The video feed is looking good. So obviously the camera is fully working, so that's good. It's drifting a little bit, but as I mentioned, it's pretty windy. Climb and descend is good. Rotation is good. Yeah, it's definitely having to fight with the wind, but it's moving flat on all four axes perfectly well, so that's good. Obstacle avoidance is working. It's not trying to fly into me, so that's good. I just took a couple of photos as well. That seemed to be working. I think now what I'm gonna do is pause this video and test out sport mode. See how that's working. Check that the metrics on here are making sense. And I'd probably try out return to home just to make sure all of the sensors on board are working. All right, so here is the situation. This guy is responding very well. The gimbal on the camera is working great. It's motorized, it's working possibly even better than before. I took it up to about 40 meters. It seemed to be doing fine in the wind, so the correction systems are obviously working. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It works maybe even a little better than it did before. The battery is so far lasting, you know, the right amount, the correct amount. It's at about 40% right now. So I think I'm done with my testing. I'm gonna test it a little more, especially in this wind, just make sure everything's okay. Maybe get a bit of footage, who knows, even though I have a ton from around here anyway. Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep working with it and see how everything goes. Man, these things are so friggin' expensive, but I think it's worth it. You know, owning a drone is super fun, as long as you're not breaking the law and get fined or you crash it. They can be very expensive, as I said, but yeah, I mean, that's probably gonna be it for me right now. You know, I've tested it out, you know, the best I can right now. It seems to be doing fine. So either enjoy this little video montage here at the end, or if the footage didn't record properly, then enjoy watching whatever videos are on the end screen.